Hello, I'm Elaine Stevens, and I want to welcome you to Art Beat. There's a lot of excitement here in Studio B at IP Casino today as they're setting up the Jolly McCarty Gala. And there is an array of artists all over the Gulf Coast being shown here for the silent auction. But we are going to be interviewing Gerrol Benigno, one of the most special coast artists that you will ever meet. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Seldom has there been an artist that really devotes his time to nonprofit organizations the way Gerrol Benigno does. You'll see him at just about every function, not only donating his completed works, but actually in the process of completing a work specifically for that organization's function, as he's doing right now with tea time. It's tea time, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
All right, and we're here at the Jolly McCarty Gala. They're getting ready for a big event tonight. About 600 of our closest friends will be coming. And Gerrol, how did you get involved in this particular one?
Well, Todd.
Todd
Naturally,
Trenchard, of course, the executive director, and Romy Simpson, and
yeah.
That's where you show your work at Negrados.
Sure.
Of course. So tell us how you became inspired to do this particular individual.
I was pondering after they asked me, and then I just kept seeing the commercials, and it was always about golf.
Of course.
So I thought, well, I think I'll do a golfer's butler, with a little bit of an attitude, and with the sun hat, and he'll be holding a tee and the golf ball, and of course, tea time.
Wow, that is so adorable. And he does look a bit British, doesn't he?
Oh, he's got the air.
He's got that little
Got the chin up.
air of, may I help you?
Down the nose look.
Now tell me the medium you are working.
This is clay. This is a high fire clay, which I always use high fire.
Well, now for the sake of those out there that don't really know your work, you are such a talented and diverse artist with versatility coming out of those hands. So tell everyone what kind of art you really do.
Well, I sculpt, basically. Whether it be very small, which is in the jewelry, or when we get larger like this.
So you even consider your jewelry sculpting?
Oh yeah, I do. I cut it out of wax. That's basically sculpting.
The jewelry there at Negrados is beautiful, and we're going to be taking a look at a few pieces that are here at the silent auction today. But more about the detail on Mr. Tea Time here. What should we call him? Humphrey, you think?
Yeah, I think Humphrey would be
is nice. Yes. Okay, so Humphrey's little outfit. You've got his belt.
Yeah, I've got him kind of like a little tux type thing.
A tux for tea time.
Yes, and of course I've got the golfer shirt on.
Yes.
And I contemplated gloves, but I think for the sake of this piece, I'm going to go ahead and cut in the fingers. But and his little brimmed sun hat.
Well, I know that Austin, our cameraman, is probably going to capture every detail close up, but I'm so totally amazed at his ears and all the detail around his hairline and even the little creases around his eyes and his nose.
This is basic cut in right now. It's going to be really detailed.
Much more detailed.
We're about halfway into him.
Okay, so how long have you been working on this?
I've been working on this for about 15, 20 hours now.
Well, Gerrol was also present at the Days of Swine and Roses, which was a fundraiser for the Gulf Coast Symphony Orchestra. And of course, we had Rose Banks there, one of your beautiful creations, which we hope we get a photograph of Rose.
Certainly will.
Absolutely. So now, what goes into completing a work? I mean, the pressure is on you here when you're doing it live, and what are the steps that you have to take to complete
This is probably the easiest part for me. The harder parts is when you start considering how you're going to color this thing, or not color it. Just fire it and let it be natural, give it a bronzy look, or actually start coloring in everything. That's where the detail work and the actual thought process goes into it. This is fun.
Do you know?
I could do this in front of
colors?
100 people.
Really?
It doesn't bother me.
Well, I tell you, I've watched you do it in front of 100 and some odd people. But do you know the colors that you're going to be using yet?
I won't do that until I actually fire him.
You really don't know yet?
No, I don't.
Okay, so the man hours that goes into creating something like Humphrey, how many hours would you say?
Well, I'll put probably 30, 35 hours into him, and then we'll do 2 firings that'll be around 24 hours apiece. then yeah, that'll be
Unbelievable.
it. But that's all done in a kiln, so it's not. I just tend the kiln. I don't have to actually work on it.
Right, but it's still something that
Yeah,
takes
there's a lot,
time.
but you just have to forget all that. You know,
Well,
you
that's
just
what I
forget
love about
it.
Gerrol. He's always so laid back about his work and always so humble, but his work is always so magnificent, I tell
thank
you.
you, thank you.
You know, when I come to visit you at Negrados, you're always busily standing behind that counter there doing something fabulous, and there's just an array of pieces. You must go there. And, you know, when I look at what you do, I have to ask, what is your favorite type of art?
Well, sculpting. I mean, this is really what I love
But
to
the
do.
jewelry or this
But
more?
This, yeah. The older I get, the larger things need to be. But I still enjoy the jewelry. I've done that for over 30 years.
Well,
So,
his
yeah.
jewelry is magnificent. I tell you, I keep saying
it's
I
a lot
want
of
one
fun.
as a wedding band someday.
Oh yeah.
We're going to take a little walk around Studio B here as they're preparing for tonight's big auction, and we're going to take a look at more of Gerrol's work, so do stay with us right after this break. Well, in case you have just tuned in, where you are watching Art Beat, and we are at Studio B at IP Casino. Tonight is the Jolly McCarty Gala, and one of the most generous men on this coast, artists or not, is Gerrol Benigno, who donates his time and energies to silent auctions and the giving of that artistry to nonprofit organizations. And of course, this one benefits children, the arts, and youth, and you are the master of the jewelry art, I have to say.
Well, thank you very
This
much.
is absolutely beautiful. It's a sailboat.
Yes, it is.
It's lovely. I mean, and even on the side of the band itself, there's intricate cutouts.
Sure, sure.
So do tell us about the process.
Well, yeah, each individual one is going to be different because I hand construct every band that goes on to. Now the top part of this, I have made a mold on it, and inspired by the Gulf Coast. I love the Gulf Coast.
Absolutely.
I see all the sailboats out there. I got to have mine. So I've carved this one and then made it into a ring.
It is absolutely beautiful. Now, where do we start with the bid on this?
Well, let's see. We
It's
got.
at 105.
I think it should start out at least $35 or $35.
Well, I'd pay a lot more than that for
And it should
that.
go.
I
well,
would.
someone should.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now,
Yeah.
this is a new attitude.
Yes, yes, it is.
Your new style that you're doing in
Yeah.
rings. So I don't know if you can get a close shot of that, but that is a
Yeah.
face, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes. Everyone that I do, I just want to have kind of a different kind of face on it. You might find one that's a happy face, one that's screaming, one that's in shock,
What is this one
or one in
doing?
awe.
Shock and awe, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
mhm,
what is
yeah.
this one doing?
This one's kind of in awe.
He's in awe.
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
I mean, the detail even on the rings that Gerrol does is absolutely amazing. You know, our home is filled with masks, and I noticed that you have also contributed a mask down here.
I love masks.
I know you do. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, I
and
do.
when did you start doing that?
I started doing masks about 10 years ago.
This baby is really heavy.
Yeah. That's
And,
a soda-fired, high-fired mask. I wanted it to look dated. You know, like maybe you dug it up and
Yes,
as an
like an
artifact,
archaeological piece of
yeah,
sorts.
yeah.
So, what is the inspiration behind this one, Gerrol?
Actually, South America.
It does
You
look
know,
that
yeah,
way.
mhm,
Yeah,
yeah,
it would
yeah.
fit beautifully in my house. Actually, we have a whole collection of masks.
We got a bid sheet right here. For you.
I know. Well, I'll be bidding. Don't worry. His face, though, he looks a tad sad.
Most of the faces that I do have that somber or even downer look to it. Yeah.
Now, that's kind of something I want to pursue with you as the character that you portray in real life,
Yeah.
and the characters that you create
Yeah.
are totally antithetical, totally opposite.
Yeah, it's kind of like that the clown syndrome.
Is that what it is? Because you'll never meet a happier, more mellow individual than Gerrol Benigno.
As long as I'm out in public,
Yeah.
but alone, that's where I'm at.
So where does that come from?
I have no idea.
Yes, you do. You know.
No, I don't.
That's what I mean
It's
about
just
Gerrol
reality.
Benigno.
It's just reality.
So now, when you walk through here and you see the work of other artists, what goes through your mind?
Oh, I love this right here.
Which one is that? We're going back.
This one right here. I just seen it tonight, but this guy right here is just
Oh, this
awesome.
is amazing. So
Yes.
this looks like Audrey Hepburn, doesn't it? That is a beautiful Audrey
Isn't that
Hepburn.
gorgeous?
And yeah.
Not to say that all of these
They
are
are
not gorgeous,
And
but
at
my
first I
eyes-
thought this one was yours. When I saw
No, that's
that.
Vera. You know
Yeah,
Vera.
of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, like I said, we're at Studio B getting ready for the Jolly McCarty Gala, and there's a lot of excitement here. We're going to stay the entire evening. Maybe we'll even be talking to some more people, creative people that are doing things like this. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Well, from the fabulous Gerrol Benigno to the amazing, creative John Folding, here we are again at Studio B with Art Beat. And this is your creation.
This is it.
It's game day right here at the Jolly McCarty Gala.
Yes, it is. I'm so excited. I can't believe it's finally coming together. We're less than 3 hours away. A little bit of a nail biter, but we're okay.
Well, as we have said so many times before in the last couple of years doing Art Beat, that we would bring you a variety of artists. And John is an artist in his own right. It may not be a canvas that he paints, but he does a room and transforms it miraculously. And as you can see by all the hubbub, I mean, there's a lot of activity.
There's a lot of activity happening.
A lot of coordination that goes on. How long have you been working on this?
We started on, well, obviously with all of the meetings and that sort of thing, it's been
Right.
about 6 weeks, but for 4 days. We started on Tuesday, and here we are today.
Now, when you look at a room, where we're in Studio B at IP
Right.
Casino, it is very large and vacuous and without color. How do you
Kind of
decide? Well, no, yeah.
Yeah.
But what kind of thought goes through your mind in initiating that first design?
A lot of it has to do with what the theme of the party is going to be. In this case, we knew that we were going to have a lot of people, so we needed to have a lot of wide open spaces, and we knew that the theme of the Jolly is always generally sports related.
Sports related, right.
So that's where we came up with the bulk of all of the ideas. The big banners back here are supposed to look like cheerleader banners, painted by cheerleaders. We've got the big backdrops like you're inside of a football stadium. We've got the goalposts. We have a little bit of AstroTurf. So, you know, those are the ideas that we sort of flow together. We find out what the theme is. We go back to the shop. We brainstorm, that sort of thing. So
But
it's
now,
always a lot of fun.
Even down to the smallest detail with the concession stands and the ticket booths.
Correct.
How did that come about?
That was sort of a kind of a community thought process, really. We decided that we wanted to have it feel like it was outside at a stadium. And what are some of the things that you see outside
Right.
at a stadium? You see ticket booths, you see concession stands, you see fans, you see banners, that sort of thing. So down to another detail, we've got the Gulfport High School Band coming in a little
Yes.
bit later.
And cheerleaders,
And
too.
the cheerleaders, and so that's just adding another layer. One of the more important things to planning parties is layering and making sure that you've got little destinations, different things happening at different times during the event, that sort of can keep it fun, moving, exciting, a little bit different all the time.
Well, and the unique aspect of John's work is that he doesn't just give the idea and run away. He's literally hands-on. You've been riding the forklift,
Absolutely.
hanging the blimp, hanging the backdrops,
Right.
designing the posters,
Blowing up the balloons.
blowing up the
Yes,
balloons,
literally hands-on.
and popping a few too. It was pretty frightening there for a while, but we're actually going to stay here throughout this entire preparation and see it in its completed version. Now, I know that you're doing several other events here on the coast as well,
Yep.
so do tell us.
The next one is next week, right here in
Yes.
this room.
In
It will
this
be
room.
very different. It's Diamonds for Dogs, Carrots for Cats for the Humane Society. Ben Vereen is going to be here, which is going to be so very
Amazing
exciting.
Tony Award-winning Ben Vereen.
The Ben Vereen. This room is going to be transformed into a beautiful theater. We're going to have ice.
Ah.
Icing, we have huge ice sculptures, things hanging from the ceiling that look like big crystal chandeliers.
Don't give it away.
Oh, sorry. The entire room is going to look completely different.
Oh, wow.
I'd love to see a before shot of the room empty, a shot of this, and then a shot of Diamonds for Dogs, just because it's such a huge transition.
It is a transition, and even tomorrow will be a
yes,
transition
exactly.
for us. Yeah.
Then right after that, we have, I've got a couple of weddings in the meantime. Then right after that, back upstairs, we've got Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, that's right, in
Dancing Under the
June.
Stars in June. And then, of course, Moonlight Masquerade, which is the Gulf Coast Women's Center for Nonviolence fundraiser, Moonlight Masquerade, Under the Sea.
Under the Sea, and that's in September. Now, all of this is happening at IP, and we partner with these organizations to help them fundraise for their events. But the amazing similarity between Gerrol Benigno and John Folding is nonprofit organizations raising funds, helping the community, and you're doing just that for them.
Yes.
So
I love it.
I know you love it. Trying to guide the people around the camera here. This place is really a buzz with activity. Our food and beverage people are all over, and you even helped with the menu design, didn't you?
We did, actually. It's a lot of fun when you're talking about a theme. You want to be sure that you're getting down to all of the details that make the party a lot of fun. So, of course, we wanted to have bratwurst and hot dogs and hamburgers and that sort of thing, but Elaine was not so much interested in that.
I know.
But so we ended up doing pulled pork, and I'm sure there's some seafood over there because you guys do seafood very well.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't remember, but it's
I can't
all
remember
very much
either, but I have to tell
game
you.
day sort of related, casual, laid back sort of stuff.
Well, the other thing that we love is that the 4 Diamond status of our restaurants is maintained throughout these events here.
Absolutely.
Even though it's a casual atmosphere, you will not be disappointed in the food.
And not only that, you're not going to be disappointed in the food, but you're not going to be disappointed in the service. You're not going to be
That's
disappointed
right.
in the people who are here to help. I tell everybody anywhere that I go that I love working with the IP out of all of the casinos more than anything, because you guys are so professional, you're so on the game. Your people will bend over backwards for anything that you need. It truly is a pleasure to work with the IP.
We are
It
IP.
really
We
is.
give incredible service every
Yes,
time.
absolutely.
So now, when you do these events, John, is there a moment in time when, like, as a writer, I know I have writer's block. Do you have that sort of blockage in your mind about what to do?
It's not so much about what to do, because we generally come up with some good fresh ideas, because it's not just me in my own brain that comes up with all of this stuff. I've got a fantastic, amazing team. Cherie Hyde, who is an amazing designer, works with me.
She's great.
Vicki Wilson is another fantastic designer who works with me as well. And so we all sit down together at the shop and we come up with all of the ideas and the details that relate to these events. So I'm not necessarily working in a vacuum. I certainly have other people that I'm bouncing ideas off of and that sort of thing. So that's an awful lot of fun too.
Well, you know, John also did something that was quite remarkable at the end of March, and that was designing a suite at the Mitchell Arena in
that's right.
Mobile for Distinguished Young Women. I do hope maybe you can email us a photograph
Yeah,
of that.
absolutely, we'll do.
Okay, we'll show that to everyone, I think. So, gosh, I mean, it's just unbelievable the kinds of designs that you come up with. Each one is unique, each one is different.
Well, that's what we kind of pride ourselves on. We don't want to do the same old stale thing over and over again. And we love to use y'all's resources, but sometimes we can't because we don't want it to look the same as other events that happen on the property and that sort of thing. So we pride ourselves in always coming up with a fresh idea. But going back to your previous question about if I ever dry up on something.
Yeah, dry up.
I don't necessarily dry up, but there comes a point where I'm exhausted and I cannot put another flower in the Oasis because I can't think about it anymore.
It's sort of like me on Fridays here at the casino when I hear the ding, 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 you know, and then I'm just done. I can't take it anymore. So. Well, we're going to come back with the completed version of the Jolly right after we take this break. Thanks, John.
Sure.
Amazing.
Thank you.